Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cryptopolitan. It is Monday, the 6th of May. Glad you stopped by. I'm Satoshi Sean. Really appreciate the channel is growing. We're up to 61 subscribers. We've been growing about one or two a day. If you can please share the videos, tell your friends, make them subscribe, force them. We really appreciate it. Also, please crush the like button. If it's your first time here, by all means, hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Let's jump into it. Got a few things to go over. One, this is more of an editorial because I'll go over what the story goes over, and you can go over to the Cryptopolitan, which is laid out with all your news in different sections. It's easy to find, whether it's altcoin news, Bitcoin news, regulation, scams, also coin analysis on all the different coins. But this article is going over the Unbanked and how banks are starting to use blockchain and see that the unbanked are important. And that now, and I've went over this in a few stories, that the tide has changed. Giving scruffy-looking customers first-class service is now a badge of honor for many financial institutions in the developing world wear with pride. I really think that's bullshit. I think the tide is changing, yes. And I think that banks are jumping on the bandwagon to whether using apps, smartphones, blockchain to bring these people into the banking system. But I don't think it's a badge they wear with honor. I don't think they care about them. There's even a story here about a teacher that this person knew back in Africa, rural Africa. They were a teacher. They would get their check, and they would have to wait in like a long, long line to get paid. And they went to a bank and asked about opening an account, and the banker there just kind of scoffed at him and sent them along their way. And I don't think any of those people have changed. I don't think the banking industry has really changed. I think they're scared, which is one of the stages of what's going to happen. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fear you, then they fight you, then you win. I think that banks are starting to see the threat, and they see the fact that they could lose. And that's why they're moving into it. That's why they're working for the unbanked. That's why they're trying to help these poor people. Bankers don't have hearts, number one, so they can't work out of the goodness of their hearts. I think it's obvious. And it does say here that that they're talking about helping the unbanked because they know that they would be penalized if they don't. They're going to miss the boat, which is true. That I think is the main reason why banks are starting to reach out to the unbanked and make a move towards social justice entrepreneurship. This goes over also a new project called Asset Stream, which I did go over on my channel. Yeah, which you can. I'll leave the link in the description to the review I did on it. It's a micro lending platform. So with cryptocurrency, that's like having a bank in your pocket. You can pay people. You can send assets back and forth. You can receive payment. You can receive payment for work. You can receive your paycheck. All of that, you don't need to have a bank. It's in your pocket. It's in your wallet. You can do that. The other part of banking is loans, which is one thing that the Asset Stream does. It's a microfinance loan, so it's small loans that like pretty much anyone needs or could get, like even in like rural villages and people that normally couldn't apply for a loan. Period. There's no way they have a credit history or anything like that. They could get small loans, a couple $100, whatever if they need for improvements, or if they have a small business in a small village where they're making enough to take care of their family. They may even employ like one or two people. But if they were able to buy some tools or some extra machine, they would be able to triple their their business output and maybe even branch out to other villages. They couldn't get a loan for a couple $100, but they could use like Asset Stream to do that. They could get that small loan and then grow their business, which there's no way anyone unbanked person could ever hope of doing that. So it really shows how blockchain is changing things, how crypto is changing things. It's a very exciting time. Things are moving really, really quick. Um, also, which I've went over this a few times about how education has a really good mix or a really good fit for blockchain and all the exciting things that are happening with education and blockchain, especially in Australia. And this is talking about the same thing like rural areas. Um, they really, it's going to be a big help in bringing education to those people. But one of the big problems is internet connectivity. So they're talking about a new education system is where it's downloadable. So you don't need to be connected all the time, but you would be able to connect, download, and then you don't have to have the connection. You'll be able to work off of your lesson plans and stuff like that, which could go for teachers in small, in rural areas. They could just download that and then teach to more than one person. But some interesting facts about using electronic education, not even just blockchain, but just putting it more towards a decentralized education system instead of putting it in a building on a property in a place that everyone else would have to go to versus bringing education to the person. Now, the challenge we as educators is laying the correct foundation for an infinitely scalable education system. If we're able to achieve this, it would reduce the cost of education. Online degrees can be up to 80 times, not 80%, 80 times less expensive than traditional degrees. Even one time, that's like half. 80 times cheaper than traditional degrees. And there's no difference in education. If you learn what 1 plus 1 is, you've learned what 1 plus 1 is. It doesn't matter if you learned it and paid $100 to learn that, or if it was free. That knowledge is the same no matter where you get it or who has it. And people are starting to really see that now, especially with the growth of online degrees. And Elon Musk said it, really well. I don't really give a crap about your degree. It doesn't really matter that much if you went to a certain school, unless it's like MIT and you're an engineer or a computer. You know what I mean? That is different because that's a specialized school. They're better. But when it comes to most educational degrees, there's not much difference between like a state school and a big state school or a local college. It's the same education, and people realize that now. I just think it's really cool and very, very interesting. You can head over and read more about it. There's lots of stories on how education is changing things over on Cryptopolitan. Next, I want to go over a couple things here. First, this story is about XLM and that it is looking kind of bullish right now. It's been on a downtrend, but so is everything. XLM is really, really connected to XRP, which is also looking like it's going to be going up. XLM is also connected to IBM. I'm going to go over what the resistance levels are for it. But also to let you know, and I'll put this in the description and in the thumbnail. Right now, if you go to blockchain.com, it's like one of the oldest crypto wallets there are, and you sign up for a wallet, if you do the KYC, they're going to give you $50 to $65 worth of XLM, worth of Stellar Lumens. I did it today. I had one from before, but I never did the KYC and everything, so I signed up, did the KYC, and I got 500 Stellar Lumens. So it was like $50, $50 worth of free money. Told my friends about it, got lots of crap about scamming them into crypto. Really, really bothered me. But it is, it's free money. It's 500 XLM for free. Just head over to blockchain.com, sign up, and once you sign up, you can do the KYC. And once you have that done, they had it. I was done. Had the XLM in there within like 15 minutes, so it's pretty quick. All right, and last, gonna go over our old friend Craig Wright. He's liable to produce Bitcoin records that go back to 2013 in court. We went over this before. The recent turn of events, the Satoshi Nakamoto issue seems to be coming to a logical conclusion. What could that logical conclusion be? Could it be that Craig Wright is not Satoshi? When the Court of Justice demanded Craig Wright produce Bitcoin transaction records dating back to 2013. Now, the court has asked Wright to provide a list of the addresses of the Bitcoin that he had been in possession of since December 2013. The deadline is May 15th. Got about a week there, buddy. Now, by bringing up Wright in the court, the previous case of him exploiting to share his partner's business, Dave Kleinman died, and Craig Wright tried to get his Bitcoin. Dave Kleinman passed away in 2013, unfortunately. Now, the court also asked Wright to mention all the transfers he made to the Tulip Trust. The lawsuit was filed in 2018. Dave Kleinman and Craig Wright's partnership started in 2011, making the firm WNK Info Defense Research Limited Liability Company. Around this time, Wright was accused of wrongfully claiming the Bitcoins in possession that Dave had. So the court asked him to go to the Tulip Blind Trust, 2011 on the list. The trustees and beneficiaries must also be mentioned in it. All this information is to be submitted to the court by May 8th. So we're hours away from that. This is very funny. Now, Dave's family says that he never gave up ownership of the mining firm, and the court demanded an email from Mr. Dr. Evil Craig Wright so that he can defend himself with proof. So he submitted that email. But the email provided was fake. I'm just losing faith in humanity. I really am. He provided a fake email. Now, the Tulip Trust had almost 1 million Bitcoin, 1.1. That's more than almost a million. That's over a million. Which also assessed to be the amount Craig Wright possessed when he transferred his assets. Some think that the Tulip Trust will help to find out who the real person behind the Satoshi Nakamoto pseudonym is. Seeing the current situation, many are speculating that Dave Kleinman or Jeff Garzik could be the identity behind Satoshi Nakamoto. Jeff Garzik. Who would have ever thought that Jeff Garzik could be Satoshi Nakamoto?
So I started the Space Chain about 2 years ago with my co-founder and CTO, Jeff Garzik. So for those who don't know Jeff, so Jeff was the third ever Bitcoin developer. So it was first, of course, is Satoshi Nakamoto. The second one, it will be Gavin Anderson, and he was third ever contributor to the code. So I think so he actually personally remotely worked with Satoshi for quite a bit of time in the very, very early days. So he does not know who Satoshi is, but he gave me some of his guesses, which is quite interesting. So we can probably set up another video just talk about that. That's a lot of things, a lot of interesting stories.
I think Jeff is Satoshi.
All right. So with that being said,
all right. And the last question is, who do you believe Satoshi Nakamoto is?
Jeff Garzik.
just like that.
Yes, Jeff Garzik. That's what I think.
I'm sorry?
Jeff Garzik.
Jeff Garzik.
Jeff Garzik?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the first we've heard. That's the first we heard of that.
I'm Satoshi Sean. Been watching the Cryptopolitan, and I'll see you in the next video.